What's up, everyone? We are promised freedom. We are promised a dream. And what do we get? Subscriptions. We were sold the dream of no ownership, no maintenance, cancel anytime, and pay only for what you use. What do we get instead? 27 active subscriptions, half of them forgotten. Who doesn't know this? They're like, you signed up with an email, you don't even have the password to it anymore, but somehow you're still paying $3.99 for a service you're not even using. And we're not even talking about a business account. Those subscriptions,
oh man, shit show.
Hell to the no, man.
All right, so today's
Super
topic,
annoying.
Mark, is subscription. Is a good thing, a bad thing? Also, by the way, for those who are watching, look at that freaking Christmas tree. Doesn't look pretty as hell. Look at it. Gigantic. Brought in directly from Germany to Barcelona.
This guy is 249 tall and the ceiling is 250. So, yes, tight fit.
That's
German engineering right
a
there.
third of an inch. So, all right, subscription, Mark. I want to first.
Okay, first of all, let's talk about businesses. Why do businesses love subscription?
No, I want to first talk about our first subscription that we ever had, bro. World of Warcraft, bro. That is the OG of subscriptions. For me, if I think about subscription, I think about World of Warcraft. Man, you always bought the 27 euro subscription.
Brings it back.
Oh, no, sorry. The 27 euro CD box with the key inside, which was 3 months.
Yeah. Otherwise, you pay $12.99.
Exactly. So yeah, that's like for me, that's the OG subscription. And I think in general that computer games in general are pretty much.
I think that was the first one who actually pioneered that in the gaming space.
100%.
That was the first one you had paid, and then you had an online subscription, because it also made sense because they have server running costs and all that stuff. But still, they made.
Every online game has like
anything
so running,
yeah.
But it's super smart because people are willing to pay for it. And as they were like so early, I mean, in general, they also pioneered marketplaces, right? So you have the
Avatar, the auction house,
auction house. So it's like very, very insane. So for me personally, that was my first subscription, and I paid for years. And trust me, I got every penny out of it. Nowadays, I probably have 8 subscriptions. I mean, we have Prime, we got Disney, we got Netflix, we got
Spotify,
we got Crunchybase, we got Duolingo,
Crunchyroll. He means
Crunchyroll, yeah. We had gym subscription, and to be honest, the one I most use, of course, gym every day. Crunchyroll,
YouTube Premium.
YouTube Premium. Actually, this is the only subscription I would say I use mostly for work, because I honestly.
But this is another thing about the subscription. I think YouTube is probably the one that you don't need the most, because there are ad blockers.
Yes,
they're pretty effective.
But talking about ad blockers, right? When you think about normally the subscription back in, let's go 3 or 4 years back when you had a Netflix subscription or Prime subscription, you didn't have any ads. Now they're showing you, even though if you have the lower tiers, they're still showing you ads, because they're thinking like, okay, we need to squeeze more. So basically what they did is like these tiers. Same with like Netflix when they offer you a 4K plan, but you can't like change the quality of it.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest scams I'm still upset about. I'm like, guys, what was the movie I watched the other day? And I was like, look, this is worse than fucking DVD quality. What the hell is happening here?
Especially where we have like 500 MB download speed.
Yeah, it's definitely not the internet. We have fiber optics here, and so it is horrible. But look, we got distracted. So why do actually businesses like subscriptions, Lucas?
Subscriptions are very good because you can forecast. First of all, like you get each month you get payment in. So that's very, very good for forecasting, as well as you can see the churn rate, right? So you can see over, let's say, your users spend on average at least 8 months there. So once every acquired user, you can say, okay, he will stay roughly 8 months. So that's perfect for forecasting, which is like very, very, it's like crack for investors, right? And when you have like, oh my God, subscription, and then you get each month this amount of money.
You also have a lifetime value increases because it's a psychological thing. We're also going to go into detail later on. Like, hey, I'd rather spend $60 now per month versus $1,200 for a lifetime, because you don't even know if you're going to use it for a lifetime. But if you actually use it for a lifetime, the lifetime value is going to be more than $1,200.
For me, that's very interesting because like we tend to buy subscription, but then you see on the other side the movement towards buying full price again. So, for example, AppSumo is a website where you can buy lifetime subscriptions. So they're saying, hey, you're tired of freaking having 10 subscriptions, just buy a lifetime access.
Yeah, for power users, that makes sense, right? It's for them who already tried it and saw, look, I tried it for a month. I know I'm going to use it for the next 10 years. Fucking let's go. It's like one of these things. You just fucking subscribe once and buy it once and that's it.
We are gamers, so I always have to like look from a perspective of a gamer. And then I'm also thinking like, if you back in the day bought a full price game, you thought there's not going to be any changes, right? There's not going to be any updates. The game comes like this, and I think in the back of my mind, if you buy something at full price, there will not be an update. For example, if you have you buy
that
DaVinci
is much more
Resolve,
complicated math. Yeah,
exactly. Then because then you're like, okay, man, you paid once, so that's what you get. So you don't get and it's like buying a car. You're not getting updates. Like you're not getting a new door. You get software updates,
yes,
but you don't get a new door. Anything like
well,
this.
actually, funny that you say that because I watched an Instagram reel the other day of Joe Leno, who's a very, very infamous car collector. I think his car collection is worth 500 million or something like that. And he was saying, yeah, McLaren actually has also upgrades for their cars. So they're like, look, we have an upgrade for your car. It's a new spoiler, carbon fiber, whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, but what will that cost? It's like, no, it's free. So they do offer that, but super up if you buy.
I mean,
yeah,
if you have if you have $500 million worth of just supercars,
yeah, of course, there's a customer service in there. That's what I'm saying. So they do offer that sometimes, but not all the time, right? It's one of these things. Also, look, but what do we at this consumer accept this stuff, Lucas? Well, for me, obviously, you have to. In my head, I'm like, I'm getting this because I know I can cancel at any time. Like I said before, it's a lower ticket at the beginning. It's also just convenience. I think it's commitment.
So I want to take this conversation in a direction of, first of all, if you have more and more subscription that you think you need, what the consumer actually does. So you share multiple accounts, and then you see the business point of view. So I want to talk about how then the business is actually then cracking down on these people. So for example, we are sharing a Netflix account with friends or Disney with friends. So basically then if you're not in the same country, the business breaks, tries to say, okay, you're not in the same household. What are you going to do? So for me, it's interesting to see you want to have access to all these options because you like a show there. So the user, because there are so many subscription options, they share accounts now, but which is lagging, right?
Subscriptions basically dominated the market also in the VC world. Any kind of businesses that needed to raise money, they usually always went with subscription. Hey, what's your recurring revenue? We already discussed a little bit of why that's so fucking fascinating for them because of the predictability, etc. It's just one of these things. But Lucas already mentioned before, there's also downsides for the users or the big companies then. Because, hey, if you have 10,000 subscriptions, you want to fucking share them as much as you can. There are these websites even that you can find other people's accounts and use them. I remember back in the day, there were some sketchy websites for some adult content where you could log in and you were like, damn, boy, what's this kind of access I got?
I don't know
here?
what you're talking about. Never used that.
That's a filthy lie. You know it.
I never had an account.
Yeah, no. You found a website and you're like, oh, what's this login?
No, I never did this. I never had a login for somebody.
Nope. Filthy
nope.
liar.
I don't have to say it. Did I watch a lot of porn when I was younger? Definitely.
Wait, what are you talking about? That's not what I'm talking about. Gotcha, bitch.
But
we got it, boys, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
I never made an account. Same. Never watched hentai. Only for work.
So de facto, you did.
So you not for pleasure. Only for work. Only for work.
Look, so why does it actually work on consumers, the subscription? Well, the one thing is the status quo bias, right? I might need it later. Who hasn't heard about this? Or I'll deal with it next month. Man, I found the other day another subscription. I was like, I'm still subscribed to school. I haven't used it at all yet. But I'm like, you know what? There's a chance I might use this. It's like $7.99. It's below $10. So you're like, you know what? Maybe I'm still going to use it. It was a good deal.
I think it's also you have so many different email addresses. I think the best way is to always check on your bank account and see what is fucking every 2 months or something like this, a review, so you can see what is actually coming out, and then you have to kind of find like where it's coming from. Because like I also saw that I paid for like a hook site. So just basically where you can find
Hookers.
where you can find on App Store, like basically hooks for Reels, website and mobile app, a subscription.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Never used it, maybe once, and been paying for this for like 4 months or 5 months. I never saw it because I was using a different
Nice.
bank account. That is just things like this. I mean, that's why you see that Apple and Android are all centralizing where you have your subscription management, because then on the
I
App
never check
Store.
in there.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Otherwise, you
But
would
it's
have
nice.
10,000 emails, and it makes sense. Like, so and Android, Apple's doing a great job on that part, because like it's a jungle out there. Like, you subscribe, or you have to offer a free trial, and then it automatically converts, which is like great for business, to be honest. So you say, hey, you try it out, and then after 3 days, 14 days, we'll start charging you. I mean, I still remember that we did the gym membership. What was it called? Where you can go to any gym. The
Urban Sports Club.
Urban Sports Club, and we cancel it, and then we still got charged for another 3 months. Man, that was, oh my god, another $150. So like, these are the things like we need, and I didn't even use it. Anyways, common point to the point. People have too many subscriptions. Like, please guys, think about it, and think about how many subscriptions you use and how much you actually use, like how many you have and how many you actually use. Like, for example, and then estimate how many hours you actually watch or use this subscription.
I think
like, most of
also
them won't be worth it.
So what are you talking about? Also, partially is, I guess, loss of aversion, right? Because you're like, hey, you don't remember why you subscribed, or you're like, hey, it feels like I'm losing access to it.
No,
Maybe I
even
might
you
just-
probably forget most of the time.
No, but sometimes, honestly, it's about loss aversion for me. It's like, you know what? I might still, the school thing, 100%. I might use it. I might access it. And that also connects directly to the other one, which is the future me delusion. Future me will use it. The same thing. Future me will learn Japanese. Future me will learn Spanish, or will use whatever properly. The subscription. I mean, that's the thing, right? Sometimes, not always. I'm saying these are things that play all these biases and whatever you want to call it, psychological things are playing a big role. And like, also another thing is that we mentioned earlier is, I mean, it's the death by 1,000 cuts. The small cuts you don't notice. If you're missing $10 here, $10 there, but 1,000 cuts still kill you. So
I wonder whether it's, if you have so many subscription, it's like having a lot of stuff. It's like you have to use it. So because you're saying it's worth it, so it's like, okay, people are always just say, I don't have time to do these and this and that. Is it maybe because they have so many subscription and they want to use them, so they're utilizing them, because otherwise they're not worth it, and I also don't want to get rid of it. So it's like same if you buy a boat, you have to use the boat because otherwise it's not worth it. Or if you have a lot of, like in general, if you have a lot of stuff, you want to use it, otherwise it's useless. Same with subscription, and that way maybe it distracts you from the important stuff. Thoughts?
what do you mean they distract you from the important stuff? Because not all subscriptions are necessarily bad.
No, I mean, gym membership is perfect, right? It's
For us, yeah.
if you go there, it's good for your health, etc. But it still uses a lot of time. Then, if you have, for example, Netflix can be nice if you can be nice when you with a girlfriend watching something. That's nice, but at the same time, if you want to push forward in one direction, but you still want to utilize the subscription.
Yeah, but what about business subscriptions? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's a look. It has a place in itself. It's just at this point, what you mentioned earlier already. It's subscription fatigue is going on. We have 27 subscriptions or whatever. You don't even know half of them anymore. Like when was this? I think last year we still had a subscription that we paid for Xbox Auth for $199 a month.
no, 99 cents, something like this.
99 cents, which we have been paying for the last 5 years.
Yeah, because I still don't know how to. I don't have the logins anymore. And
Exactly. We don't have the logins. We can't.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We can't unsubscribe. That's what I'm saying. Like it's fucking wild. And it's like all these subscribers are obviously, these subscriptions are getting higher, like more expensive. On the other hand, obviously everything is getting more expensive. It's just inflation is a thing. It's a thing. So you can't even say, hey, that's what it is.
So as a closing thought for me is like, I would definitely call it subscription hygiene. So my subscription hygiene is, for example, especially in business, we have a sheet of all our costs, so where we can always just put it in there and then say active, also with the email address. That way you always know where it comes from and like what are you using it for. So like info, you have subscription, price, is it monthly, yearly, then is it active, inactive, information, what you're actually using it for. Because in the end, that is so important, because otherwise you can keep like you lose track, because you think like, oh, these are our costs, but you need to have the extra cost to calculate run rate, etc. You can also implement this for your personal run rate or burn rate, because you can see that, do the math. It's like, okay, my consumption is, I don't know, I have a student loan there, this, and this.
So I think overall, to bring it back to the business side of things, for people that have businesses, consider the following things. The cost of acquisition per customer is rising. So you need to have a business model that supports obviously the customer acquisition cost. Also, churn rate seems to be rising due to more competition. Since there are whatever you're offering, like a SaaS product used to have a moat because of the technology or whatever. Now it's just a feature. There's more and more competition can build what you have. You need to build different modes.
That's the thing, they come with it, right? So think about ChatGPT. We won't be switching to Gemini because we use ChatGPT for a long time. Even though
but this
you
is
have
not the
different
point.
models.
The point is SaaS products, other SaaS products.
It's the same thing. The point is that you have all your data. You have all your data on one platform. So you upload everything. You upload your images, photos, etc. there. And then if it's not especially on SaaS products, if you have it integrated, man, you are not gonna rip it out of your flow.
Well, depends on what SaaS product you talk about. There's a few things that are basically impossible to take out, such as SAP.
Exactly.
One of the things. Okay, one of the things, but there's other ones that are easier to take out.
Yeah, but
if you take, for example, Dropbox, man, anyone can just swap.
Yeah, but people don't. They're lazy.
I know, but my point is, it's just like anything that technology is becoming less and less in the mode. Also, just a hot take here.
Disagree.
Well, good that you disagree. Agree to disagree. What do you think, Lucas? Is it going to be a world after subscriptions? Because look, the thing is, software as a service, SaaS, some people consider what's happening with the AI not as a SaaS. They basically say because you have tokens and all that stuff, it's not a SaaS product because you pay also per usage.
It is a SaaS product, but in the end, it's just the cost is different. It's not.
So you did think it's a SaaS product because there are people that say
no.
It's not.
It is a SaaS product, but at the same time, the cost, like the software, you can't scale it infinite. So, for example, if you create Microsoft Excel,
the cost, the scale,
Microsoft Excel, whatever, you just sell a code and then you run it locally on each machine. So that's not an issue. The problem is each time you have a request, it's server cost. It's always a variable cost.
So you're talking about the costs are basically scaling differently.
Yeah,
because they're one by one. It doesn't matter if you have one user who uses X and you have 2X who uses X. It's 2X.
But my point here is, even though you basically have a cost per usage, this gives an opportunity to charge more because you have tokens now. So what you introducing there is now you have a base subscription. So for these people who are using you can offer it for, let's say, for example, in video generation, may it be HookTalk or Hixfield. So you have like a normal base subscription, and then you buy tokens or credits, whatever you want to call it, if these tokens are not enough that you have. The reason why you do this is because, first of all, you want to have a normal subscriber. If they have normal consumption and happy with it, perfect. But if you have power users, they have the ability to directly buy tokens, so more consumption, staying in the subscription.
So what are your thoughts on, is this going to increase the lifetime purchases with the caveat that, for example, you have lifetime access to this AI tool, but you still have to buy credits at a discounted rate for that. You still get them. So you can use it. For example, let's say our tool, HookTalk. You have access to HookTalk for life, and you get, 100 tokens per month. Every month.
If you do it on
you get
AppSumo.
Whatever. It's a lifetime thing. Yeah, AppSumo, whatever you want. So you offer that, and then they get a 25% discount for credits because you still have the margins on the credits because it's usage.
I think it's a great idea.
I do think it's rising. It's going to rise.
To be honest, I've never seen this before.
I know, but it's an interesting idea.
It is a really cool concept. I believe we should probably use that. Like, go to AppSumo, offer a lifetime subscription, and get a discount on additional credits.
Exactly. You
So
just say,
the
hey,
point
you
is-
get limited amounts of credits. But
Exactly. The point is you calculate roughly what the user will use. So let's say
you have a lifetime value, and then
Yeah.
the rest is just the credits because they're something
exactly
else.
extra subscription.
Yeah.
Because in the end,
Well, it's
people-
not a subscription; it's a one-time purchase.
yeah, sorry, extra tokens they're consuming. I really liked it. I think this is where, I mean, I haven't checked out AppSumo yet with the new AI tools, etc. But I think that is a category that will definitely rise because it makes sense because you have basically a base for free.
Yeah, the software.
You get the software for free. If you want extra, that's it. I like it.
All right, guys. What are your closing thoughts, Lucas? Quick outro.
My outro is we should try that for Hook Talk and definitely apply for AppSumo for our launch. If you guys want to create a quick video ad or anything else with just a link, just try out Hook Talk. That's just our shameless self-promoting hooktalk.ai.
Right. I remember if the outline, the one-liner now, freedom wasn't canceled. It's just auto-renewed.
All right, guys. Catch you next one. Peace.
Peace.